Can an adrenaline surge from POTS feel like anxiety? Yes. Let's talk about why. So, with a person who doesn't have POTS, when they stand up, the veins in their legs and their extremities constrict and it pushes their blood back up to their heart. Our calves and our posterior chain, our muscles, are a really important part of our cardiovascular system. Our system is built to work with them. So, without this vasoconstriction, what happens is your blood pools in your legs and extremities. And then your heart's like, where's my blood? So it starts pounding harder to try and bring that blood back up. But that doesn't really work because our hearts aren't capable of just pulling all the blood up by themselves. So what happens next is our brains go, well, the heart doesn't have any blood, let me give it some adrenaline. So with POTS, every single time you stand up, typically you're getting a certain amount of adrenaline so that your body can help you bring your blood back up. Unfortunately, our fight or flight system is not meant to withstand getting massive amounts of adrenaline all day long. It really creates an imbalance in our system. So what this causes is these random adrenaline surges throughout the day at times when we don't need them. So something simple happens, like you trip, or a car pulls out in front of you, or nothing. You wake up in the middle of the night with your heart pounding. Maybe you had a bad dream and you didn't know it because your brain is going, lion, here's all this adrenaline, this massive surge of it, and you don't need it. So over time, not only does this cause symptoms of anxiety throughout the day, just generally, but then you have what are adrenaline surges, and they are so often misdiagnosed as panic attacks or panic disorder. I was misdiagnosed as panic disorder. Many people I know, most actually, especially women, are misdiagnosed first as having anxiety or panic disorder. So it absolutely can, does, and almost always actually, adrenaline surges do feel like anxiety. The difference is if you next time perhaps when you have one, you think about like, how are you feeling? And so the way I remember describing it to a therapist when I was 17, because I was told I was having panic attacks, I remember telling them that I felt like I was running, but I was standing still. My heart was pounding really hard. I was out of breath, felt like I had pressure on my chest, but my mind felt really calm. And so as this went on, of course, I was like, hey, it makes me feel nervous because I don't know why it's happening, but I don't feel anxious. I don't have this anxious feelings. I just feel like I'm running and I'm not. And so for me, as this happened, once I learned what was happening, these adrenaline surges, that I was able to work on mindfulness practice, resetting this fight or flight system and working through that to not only, cease to have them completely, which I don't. I do not have adrenaline surges anymore, but be able to understand why they're happening and what they are and what they are not. So to answer your question, absolutely, adrenaline surges do feel like anxiety. I think without understanding what is happening, I thought I was having panic attacks for years, but it turns out I was having inappropriate releases of adrenaline due to POTS, and I never had panic disorder or anxiety at all.